Hey guys, welcome back to Aldi Crochet. I found this kit at Aldi's. This was only $4.99 at my local Aldi's. I'm pretty excited about it. I thought, let's open it up, let's see what's in it, and I'm gonna crochet it up and see how it goes. So, let's go ahead and go down to the table and we'll check it out. Okay guys, let's get ready and dive in. Now I do want to say this was one of 3 kits they had. This was the only crochet kit that I saw. They had 2 other kits that were macrame, so if you're into that also, maybe you'll want to check that out. Now, this to me, I think is very pretty. I think instead of having an orange pumpkin, having like a beige is kind of nice, mixing it up. Alright, so let's look this over. Now, the kit's supposed to include 2 yarn colors, 1 crochet hook, 1 yarn needle, polyester fill, detailed instruction guide. I also think it's kind of nice that there is like this little QR code that you can scan on how to make the pumpkin. I'm going to check that out and I'll let you guys know how it looks, you know, if it's super user friendly or if it's hard to understand. I will look that over and let you know when I wrap up. So I like this little visual right here of this is what the kit has: the hook, your yarn, your needle, more yarn, and I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. Oh, I bet you that's supposed to be the polyfill. And then not included are your scissors or your measuring tape. So let's go ahead and open this together. If I can get it open. Just use this pen to pop that tape right there. Which I guess in the end really didn't help me anyways. Alright. First things first. Alright, here's our polyfill. It's like vacuum sealed, which is kind of smart, so it takes up less room. So I'm actually, let me grab some scissors, because that makes, I like the idea that makes, less packaging, but is it going to puff right back up? Let's just open that real quick because I want to know. Alright, so it's open. Oh yeah. I mean, it's flat. You're going to have to work with it a little bit, but it looks like it's puffing back up pretty quick. I mean, because obviously that was way flatter before. That's a lot of polyfill. So that makes me excited about how big this pumpkin's going to be. Alright, let's shove that back in here. We'll put that aside. Definitely no problems there. It puffs right back out. I'll probably work with it a little bit because I want to make sure it's nice and fluffy. Alright, so we have our yarn, which is a little darker than I thought it was going to be. We have our other little bit of yarn. And then, oh, this is kind of nice. Instead of having one of those like really cheap, like just a little metal hook that sometimes break, I mean, an actual like ergonomic hook is kind of nice. It's weird though to take the time to give you an ergonomic hook though, and then give you a plastic yarn needle. Like, that's kind of strange to me. But I do like that they're orange, which is kind of festive. And then we have our instructions here, and this is a good size instruction manual. I mean, there are quite a few pages here. I'm just going to flip it around like that so you can kind of see. So I'm like kind of impressed. I am a little disappointed. Why not just throw in the metal needle if you're gonna give you the nice crochet hook and everything else is nice. I mean, this yarn is definitely like, if I'm buying yarn off the shelf at Joann's or Michael's or wherever, like, it's like nice yarn like I'm buying off the shelf, not the scratchy, crunchy yarn that you usually get in these kind of kits. Like, this yarn's actually soft and nice. So everything great. I'm disappointed about the needle though. The idea it's plastic. Why wouldn't you just throw in the metal needle? Kind of weird to me. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and work this up. I'm going to check out this QR code that's on here, and I will be back. Okay, so I'm back. The yarn that made up the body of the pumpkin was soft, nice to work with from that standpoint, but I did notice like the twist on the yarn just wasn't that great. And so like you'd end up with quite a bit of splitting. I don't know if you can kind of see, like when the yarn moves, it has a tendency to kind of separate. That wasn't great. But kudos to them for giving plenty of yarn and having a yarn that was actually on the soft side. That's something though I can kind of work with. I can overlook, it's not a huge deal. This is what was left for the stem, and same thing, like same thoughts. I mean, it was super soft, love that. Now, here's where we start running into the first kind of big problem, the hook. Now, I was really excited when I opened this, thinking that, an ergonomic hook, it's kind of nice. I mean, when you're talking about a kit that's like $5 and that they took the time to give you a nicer hook, that's pretty cool. Now, as though I was crocheting with it, working along, I would get to a point where the end would be like, it would be out like this and loosey-goosey. So I'd have to like stop, slide it, have to slide it back on, and then I would have to go ahead and stop, sometimes, and twist to get the thumb spot. Because I mean, you got the little cutout for your thumb, you got that little thumb rest, but then the hook head would be orientated the wrong way. So I have to stop and then twist it back into place. So between having to stop, slide, the rubber part back on, or stopping and twisting it back into place so that the hook head's faced the right way, very frustrating. Between that and then the yarn splitting, wasn't super terrible. I mean, I could get past that, but this hook, that's hard to get by. It's hard to look past that one for sure. And to take the time, to have the nicer looking hook, and then I'm still kind of miffed about the idea that the needle was plastic. I mean, at least you could have given me a metal one. I'm still kind of miffed about that. Also, I'm going to bring to your attention the instructions. Now, I didn't really look closely at the instructions because, that wasn't, I just wanted to see, hey, it shows what it needs to show. Now, the instructions though, you can see where this part is like printed dark and then it kind of is lighter printed over here. And there's all these like wrinkles in the paper. So I mean, that's not going to be every kit. I just happen to get a bum book, but it still kind of gets me a little bit. It's kind of a bummer. Also, the instructions themselves, there were a few errors in the instructions. So it's one of those things where, I mean, I know that we're looking at a $5 kit, which is, pretty cheap, but the instructions to have errors kind of gets me because, I've done kits that were cheaper than this and the instructions at least were correct. So that upsets me. Like stitch counts being off, that kind of thing. I mean, it's stuff that you can figure out. I mean, it's not like the entire project didn't work out or anything. I mean, they were things that as a seasoned crocheter wasn't a huge deal. You could work it out. Also, I did take a minute to look at the video. It's got the QR code. The video was okay, but I like when I'm doing a video, if I'm listening to a video working on something, I like being able to audibly hear what's going on and what the instructions are, because I don't want to take the time to have to look up a whole bunch of times and stop and start. So that was kind of a bummer. It was a very basic video, nothing special. And it's one of those things too, I don't think you're not going to learn how to crochet from that video. So you got to be a little bit of a seasoned crocheter. And if you're the seasoned crocheter, you probably can just read the instructions from the book, have a basic idea of, what you're doing. Now, let me go ahead and actually show you the completed pumpkin though now. So it looks great as far as I'm concerned. I like the color. I like that it's not the cliche orange. I like the, the gray and the beige. It's very neutral looking. It's going to, look good with a lot of different, decor and stuff. I'm very happy with this. Like how it came out. It looks great. Bottom, top. It looks good. I'm happy with that. I mean, all in all, you know, I can't say I recommend this kit. I think that if you bought it before you saw my video, I think, you know, it's fine and stuff. But I wouldn't encourage people to go out and buy the kit. Like, I mean, it's not like this kit's a total disaster. If you saw my other video that was supposed to be like these cute little cactuses, like, that video's a disaster. Not the video itself is a disaster, but the kit is a disaster. It's like the worst kit I've ever gotten before. Like, it's definitely not the worst. I mean, if you happen to buy it, fine and dandy, but I wouldn't encourage people to go out and get it. That's just kind of where I stand on it. So, that's my thoughts. I mean, if you already have bought it, you know, enjoy it for what it is, but I'm not going to encourage people to go out and get it. I just can't stand behind it. So, until next time, though, take care.